You're tuned into the Awakening Zone Radio Network, your news and information source for empowered spiritual awakening.
But I invite you now, as we go into this, to choose the conscious breath, to take the deep and conscious breath, opening and breathing, letting the breath flow through you, the breath that says you choose life. So breathe deeply, flowing, allowing. And as we get ready for Adamus, it's an important time to allow the distractions to just go with your breath, to just be here, now, and present, breathing, feeling, and allowing. So breathe deeply, feeling, and opening fully to this experience. Breathe and invite your soul to be here with you if you choose. Breathe, opening, flowing, and allowing. Breathe. Breathe with the soul of you from the depths of you. Each of us breathing and allowing in this now moment, releasing ourselves to truly feel this experience, to truly allow it, to breathe with it, and to be present. Breathe. Breathe deeply. Breathe.
I am that I am. Adamus, also known as Saint-Germain. So, my dear friends, dear listeners and viewers, welcome to our third annual DreamWalk into the astral realms. Perhaps you could feel the energies building even before you got here. Maybe in the room now, maybe wherever you happen to be. Because we're going to go out on something that is very different for the mind and the body, into the astral realms. In a way, you're used to visiting these places in your dream time at night. So they're not totally foreign to you. But generally, you don't go to the very specific places that we're going to be going to in this dream walk. The question you're going to ask yourself later, after you have your own very personal experience, is it real? Is it real? Only you can answer that question for yourself. But I have to say that life, reality, is where you place your consciousness. It's not just here in this physical realm. It's not just where you happen to be at the moment. It's not just where your past has been. But reality, life itself, is where you put your consciousness. Now, it might feel different than sitting here in the chair, wherever you happen to be listening. It might have different attributes because it's not necessarily physical. You're not necessarily sensing it to the same degree through your eyes and through your ears, your other physical senses, but that doesn't mean it's not real. It just means it's different from the reality that you're used to on an everyday human basis. Is it real? Absolutely. If you were to take your consciousness and put it in a void, in a vacuum, total nothingness, total darkness, you put your consciousness there, you allowed it to be focused into a place of nothing. It doesn't mean it's not real. It doesn't mean it's not nothing. It simply means your consciousness is in a different place than your office, your home, wherever you happen to be. And what ultimately happens when you put consciousness into any, you would call it place, soon it starts attracting energy. Energy that was not there before. It was a void, it was darkness, it was nothing, even without energy. But as the consciousness is focused and balanced there, it starts bringing in energy from the other realms, from other dimensions, and from yourself. From that energy brought into the void with your consciousness, it then starts creating a dimension, a reality. And maybe it's just colors, maybe it's just sounds, maybe it's just waves, light waves, or sound waves, or just waves of feelings. Maybe it's trees, maybe it's demons and ghosts and goblins, but it's all responding absolutely appropriately to your energy. Is it real? Absolutely. As real, or arguably more real than this. Life is where you put your consciousness. Consciousness is focused in this reality, the one where you can see the earth and the sky, other people, this reality where you keep your belongings, your stuff, this reality where you interface with other people. But it doesn't mean it's the only reality, or even the realest, or the truest reality. It means a reality where your consciousness is presently focused. The difficult thing is you're so used to having it focused here that you soon forget that it can be anywhere. You're told that you're just making things up. You're told that you're just daydreaming. You're told that you're trying to escape this reality. My dear friends, anywhere your consciousness is focused is where life and reality is. So as we go out on this dream walk, you're going to have your own experiences. You're going to feel it physically. You're going to feel it not only while we're having the dream walk, but after. That's one way to tell that it's real, because it affects you, it touches you, it inspires you. You can feel it. After the dream walk, you're going to feel different in your mind. Why? Because we've expanded beyond it. You're going to have a certain energy feeling in your body. For some of you, it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. For others, it'll be a welcome relief. And for others, something that is familiar, but yet you're not able to put into words. But it's an indication that something is happening, that it's real, because it even affects this reality. After the dream walk, chances are very good that you're going to have some interesting dreams in the next night or two. You always actually do dream. But what happens is when you become conscious of your consciousness, aware of your consciousness, suddenly you start to become more aware of the dreams that are already occurring. Every one of you dreams every night. Oh, all night. Not just one dream, but multiple levels of dreams. A lot of times you don't remember because there's such a disconnect between this reality and other realities. Oftentimes you don't remember because you wake up in the morning and the mind immediately starts churning away about what you're going to do on this day or problems you have to confront. But you're still dreaming. You're still putting your consciousness, albeit in the dream state, but you're putting it into other realities. and they are real. If there's any one thing that I would hope to get across in this dream walk, is that you're not making this up. You're not just out on a little fantasy. Others might tell you that because they are so focused in this and only this reality. They're continually trying to justify this reality. It's an interesting exercise because their mind is trying to justify something that the spirit knows is not totally correct. The mind is trying to justify this reality, to make sense out of this reality. It struggles hard to make sense out of this reality, to put the pieces together, to wonder why certain things happen, what's the meaning, and what do they need to do to improve themselves within this reality. They work very, very, very hard at it. And then they'll tell you that you're just fantasizing. They'll tell you that you're making it up. My dear friends, you're not at all. I give you such credit. I honor you so much for having that knowingness that there's so much more, even though the imprisonment within this dimension is so strong and others are constantly trying to tell you that there's something wrong. Someday they will come to you and say, I knew you were right. I discovered it. It's so easy to get caught in the very thing that holds all of this together. It's called time. Time. Time is not the thing that you see on your wristwatch. That's a measurement of time, one of many different measurements of time. The thing on the clock on the wall passes from second to second to second, but that's actually really not time. It's just a measurement or a perspective of time. Time is not like a train going down the tracks, having its past, having its present moment of where that train happens to be from the perspective that you are observing it. And it's not just the tracks ahead. But yet most people believe that. Most people will argue for it. In other words, they, in a sense, want it or need to have it that way. Time is actually a timescape, like a landscape. When you look out onto the horizon, you look out as far as your vision will take you, it's not locked into a before, current, and after. It's actually not locked in at all. Actually, with the right perspective or focus, you can see the entire landscape, the mountains, the trees, the skies, and everything in between. Or you can narrow your focus and look just at the tree that's standing before you. Or you can look just at the bird flying in the sky. Or you can look at the entire landscape. And that's what time actually is. It's escape, not an escape. It's a scape, a timescape. There truly is no present moment. There truly is no past and no future. It is all a timescape. It all depends on your perspective. Most humans get up in the morning and project themselves, project their perspective out onto the day, what they're going to be doing at noon, what they're going to be doing at 3 o'clock, what they're going to be doing after work, what time they're going to go to bed. And it becomes very locked in, very linear, back to the train, the railroad train on a track. And then they believe that time is the passing of moments, the passing of seconds. They believe in a past, they believe in a future, and they even believe in a present moment. When in fact, indeed, time is actually, it's a scape, it's a timescape. It's a perspective. My point, before we go into the dream walk, is it real? What you're going to experience, is it real? Is it right? Is it truthful? It is for you. You cannot make this up. Your experiences, you cannot make it up. You cannot make up when you're daydreaming. Daydreaming of no matter what, even if it doesn't make sense from a time perspective. You're not making it up. You're simply slipping, going across into the other dimensions that are as real. Life is where you place your consciousness. And it doesn't have to be in time nor space. It doesn't have to have a past nor a future. It is where you place your consciousness. Then life springs forth. Let's take a deep breath with that and get ready for our dream walk into the astral realms. Realms that are not physical, but carry the attributes of physical, because so many who are there have just come from a lifetime on Earth. So it has many of the belief systems, so it has a time element to it, but it doesn't have the hard physical that you're used to on an everyday basis. We're going to take a very beautiful walk out there as a group. And the only thing I ask is that you stay with the group. You stay with this dream walk consciousness, the entourage. We have others who are joining us from the angelic realms who are sure that it's going to be very safe. We're going to go off into some realms that may be emotionally challenging for some of you. So I ask you to observe whatever we're doing through the eyes of compassion, the eyes of acceptance, realizing that whatever is going on the other realms is absolutely appropriate, just as whatever is going on this planet right now is absolutely appropriate. You may have emotional reactions, and that's totally appropriate, even physical reactions, and some of you mental reactions. You have a mental reaction to this afterwards. Allow it. Truly allow it. Don't fight it. Don't try to make sense out of it. Absolutely allow it. It will bring you to a new level of your own consciousness. Now, let's begin the music. Carefully hand-chosen music, at least to keep things a little bit lighter as we go out into the astral realms. Let's take a deep breath, and I invite everyone to gather around. I invite everybody to get relaxed and take a very deep breath as we begin our dream walk into the astral realm. Is it real? If you allow it to be. Let's take a good deep breath and join together. Everyone gather around. We're joined in this dream walk by beautiful energy of Archangel Michael, also known as Archangel Michael. He comes for truth, guidance, and protection. Allow yourself to feel the essence of Archangel Michael. Many of you come from the house of Lord Michael, the angelic family of Michael. Nearly all of you have had some type of encounter with Michael for guidance or support, for protection. Many of you have heard the words from Michael in your own ears. It's time to put down the swords. Time to end the battle. Well-spoken words, because there's truly nothing to battle. No windmills, no ghosts, no other people, and not even yourself. Michael will be with us throughout this entire dream walk. Now, there's a few guidelines before we go out into the other realms. These other realms are a bit more active. A bit more active than usual. Why? Well, because of this thing called All Saints' Day, Halloween, All Hallows Eve. Oh, because the humans believe in it, give energy and credence to it. The spooks are more active than ever. little restless, you would say. Also because there are those who play out in these realms who really don't understand what's going on. They come out here in some sort of entertainment, but not realizing what lurks in those dark shadows of the astral realms. They become food for the spooks, not your physical body. They're not interested in that. But your energy, particularly if they can elicit fear. Fear, emotion. It's like food for these dark ones. I ask you to be the observer as we go out here. Simply observing, not interfering. Please don't sprinkle fairy dust out here. Please don't try to counsel those who might come to you. Most of you will have some type of experience with one of these otherworldly beings approaching you. It's not for you to counsel them. It's not for you to heal them. It's for you to observe. These realms have changed, actually, just in the last few years, partly from the previous DreamWalks, where there are tens of thousands of conscious, aware humans bringing their compassion to these realms. When you come out here as the observer, as the enlightened one, you illuminate new potentials for those who are stuck in these realms. So do gather around now. Stay with the group. Be the observer. Let's take a good, deep breath as we begin our journey to the astral realms. Good, deep breath and a big smile on my face and Archangel Michael, knowing that we can do this, knowing that you are doing this consciously, lovingly, for a very beautiful experience to follow. Now let's start our slow dream walk. You may imagine this as this large group of enlightened beings literally walking or floating or just realizing. As we slowly transcend this human realm, this physical realm, a realm of time, of matter, of gravity, of heaviness. And we now go beyond just the physical body and the mind, opening up to the other realms. I like to describe these realms, I call them the near-earth realms. They're not physical, but they're almost like a cloud around the physical earth, a dimension very closely associated with earth itself. Because the ones who are out on these realms, the near-earth realms, are all ones who've had a physical incarnation on the planet Earth. They come here in between lifetimes. Let's continue to walk along here. I know some of you are wondering if we're moving at all, but indeed we are. Let's continue just moving along very slowly, very gradually and safely, beyond just the physical. Remember, we're actually really not leaving the physical. We're actually allowing the non-physical, the astral, to come to us. We're not going out of the body and mind. We're simply expanding the awareness, the I am, into the other realms. Let's take a deep breath and just pause here for a moment. As you're loosening yourself, opening yourself, so it's not just physical, it's not just in time, it's also now integrating, incorporating these other realms. And let's continue moving along solemnly in honor for all of those who are out there, out here, in these astral realms. Each and every one of you has been here before many times. When you leave the physical body in death, you generally tend to come here, the near-earth realms. You still have the attributes. You still have the feelings of physical, but yet without the body. As we come deeper and deeper now into the near-earth realms, the realms where the dead come, you're going to begin to feel that they're really not dead at all. As we come out here now deeper into the astral realms, you start to realize that it's not one place, it's many. There are places here that are beautiful. Places here that have some of the most majestic scenery that you've ever seen. The best of Earth now, without the restrictions of Earth. Places that you've wanted to travel all of your life but never got to. They're out here as well. There is beauty out here in this dimension of many dimensions. There are places where the more enlightened ones come between lifetimes to learn more about consciousness, about energy, about light. They come here after beautiful, sometimes challenging lifetimes, to what you would say study, but studying not like you do on Earth, not with a book or a computer in front of your face. Studying here is experiencing the energy. Studying means immersing into and feeling energies. Come to a place now in the near-earth realm for those who have dedicated their most recent life to consciousness, awareness. And remember, we're just observers here. Now, you're going to see things in your own way. They may be dressed just like regular humans. They might have togas. They might have angel wings. It doesn't matter. It's how you're perceiving it. And it's absolutely correct. They come here after a lifetime dedicated to truth, dedicated to reality, to consciousness. They come here to allow themselves to feel more than they've ever felt before in their last life. They immerse into feeling, into sensory awareness. Not studying a book, not listening to some professor moan on, but immersion. Like diving in a pool, but the pool filled not with water, but with feeling, awareness. Imagine what it would be like to have awareness without being guarded, without trying to protect yourself, without holding back because of fear, but to allow yourself into pure sensory awareness. That's what they're doing. Without holding back, without worrying about losing themselves, without worrying about losing a mind or valuables or goods. Pure immersion into feeling. Interesting, isn't it? Out here in these astral realms, something so beautiful. Interesting, I hear you saying. This is something I should be doing on Earth itself. Yes, indeed. That's why I brought you here. That's why I brought you to this dimension within the dimensions. These beings that are here, they're not in physical body. They've died in the last few years, or maybe 30, 40, 100 years for some. They are simply immersing into feeling. Not emotion, my friends. That's completely different. That's something quite unique to humans. But to feeling. And while we're observing them, they are longing to come back into physical body so they may feel, they may immerse, they may allow at the deepest level, because there's nothing like doing it when you're in the physical body. Oh, a little bit easier out in these realms to immerse into true feeling, because there's no worry about death. They're already dead. There's no worry about losing the body or even of physical pain, because it's not even in the equation. They can't wait to get back to Earth itself, to have full sensual experience. It wasn't sexual, sensual, aware. You've done this yourself. You've been to this very place in between lifetimes. And you said to yourself, when I go back, when I have another incarnation, I swear that I will allow myself the freedom of sensual experience. What happened? Well, life, that very strong, seductive, and dense energy of Earth, tends to shut one down. They tend to stay guarded, worried about damaging the body or the mind or other people. So instead of full immersion, there's just a toe or two in the water. You know it's not what you came here for. You know it's not going to satisfy your soul just to put one or two toes in the water. Can you, my dear friends, allow yourself the freedom as the ones who are out here right now, in between their lifetimes, just like you've been, immersing deep into experience? It will call on you to stop thinking. And even those very words sound ominous, dangerous. Stop thinking. Thinking is the protection. You think. Logic is what keeps you balanced, you think. Learning from the past is what keeps you from harming yourself in the future, you think. But I'll tell you right now, a course with Archangel Michael will tell you right now that those are truly only limitations. Your thinking is not what's keeping you alive. It's not what's keeping you fed. It's not what's keeping you safe. Thinking is keeping you with an identity, perhaps. It's keeping you in time reference, perhaps. But the thinking, all that logic, just keeping you from true, full, sensual experience. Look over now, as we're here in this part of the near-earth realms, where they're diving into sensual experience. Look over for a moment. Observe the joy, the liberation, when one feels at such a deep sensual level, when one is aware, and they become more aware of themselves. You, all of you, it's one of the things you want most, the awareness of your true free self, the awareness of God. But that awareness won't come through the mind, it won't come through the thought, it won't come through belief, and it won't come just because you're determined. It comes when you allow, when you're courageous enough to allow sensual experience. There's been so much programming, hypnosis, against sensual experience. So much programming saying, don't let yourself loose. You make a fool of yourself. You harm yourself. That hypnosis and programming that says you must be ever vigilant in the mind watching the mind limiting you. Imagine for a moment, as we observe those in this sensual part of the near-earth realms. Oh, it's like they're diving, swimming, floating, just hovering, playful, unabandoned. I remember each and every one of you having been here before saying, this is what I'll bring to my next life. And you still can. Never, ever too late. Let's take a deep breath and continue our journey through the near-earth realms. Staying together, just observing. You're probably starting to realize that while we call this a dream walk, and there's part of you that's feeling that we're actually walking in a large group together, you might start to feel a different sense that all of this is coming to us. In a way, we're stationary, and it's coming to us. But you know, both perspectives are true. We're metaphorically walking, but what we've really done is expressed a choice, a desire for our consciousness to go beyond, to be unbridled, to be open. And you see, in a way that creates movement, the feeling that we're walking, that we're on this path together. But equally and also true, that there's no need for us to move at all. Not in a physical sense, not even in a mind sense. Because in this level, it comes to you. They come to us. Whether it's that realm that we were just visiting with those immersed in sensual, in their feelings, or whether it's some of the beings you can feel on the peripheral watching us, observing us. You see, they come to us. There are some out here who are very, very lost. Some out here who are very, very confused. And as consciousness moves and attracts different things, you're going to feel them. hanging around. You're going to feel their sorrow, their anger. It's all out here. This is the land of the dead, the lost, the confused. And the next place we're going to go, I'll ask you once again just to be the observer. This is a place where there are many, many who have had disease or illnesses. They're older in their human physical years. Some of them have had diseases for 5, 10 years. Some perhaps a little shorter. They've had cancer, heart problems, degeneration of the nervous system, and yes, even this thing called Alzheimer's. The ones who are in this particular part of the New Earth realms, the Near Earth realms, died in their disease. They either no longer had the strength to fight their disease, they just gave up, or the disease came over them like a wave. No matter how many prescriptions, how much therapy, how much prayer, it was just too much. Their families grieved. There was tremendous sadness, for indeed it is sad to see a human die in disease. It's actually quite despicable, quite uncalled for. Disease were the ones who died, who are here now, and we're amongst them. They're all around. Some still sit in their wheelchairs, even though their physical bodies are gone. They're not quite sure that they're dead. They're still in their chairs or hospital beds. Some still are feeling pain, even though there truly isn't any. Some are choosing to still feel their physical pain out of guilt, shame, feeling they must carry the burden of the world in pain, or simply feeling that they were weak. Let yourself feel right now, where they're all around. They died of a disease. We're not here to try to wake them up, console them, just to observe. Some of them are aware that they're dead, of course. There's actually a liberation from all that pain. Some are still in the effects of the drugs, even though it could have been years ago. Morphine, painkillers. They're still doped up, even though they're here. This is a difficult place to visit. I would say it's one of the worst of the human conditions, dying in disease. They can still feel their families crying, grieving, praying, holding on. They can still feel their families asking God, why? Why does this happen? I'm going to pose a question for each and every one of you. Is this how you want to die? Look around, observe. The rotting of the physical body, while trying to challenge it or counter it with your mind? Is this how you want to go? When you ask me back, you say, but do I have a choice? Absolutely. The choice is as real as anything else. You can leave your physical body whenever you choose, before it goes into disease. Some of you are saying, but can't we heal ourselves? That's a whole nother DreamWalk, a whole nother discussion. The simple answer is, why? The more complex answer is, there's no need to. But we'll save that for another time. Let's move on now. Let's move on from this rather chilly realm of the diseased dead. Perhaps, one of these days, the consciousness of humanity will change, where there's not the need for disease to have to die. Let's continue our dream walk. And again, you may be feeling the presence of unknown beings around. Even feel them try to distract you. They go for the mind, but they also try to distract your body. They have no dominion over you whatsoever. Nothing. They try to get you to believe that because they're dead, they're more aware or have some sort of powers, but they don't. Absolutely none until you give them that power. That's not what we're here for. Let's continue with this dream walk. Take a good deep breath before we enter our next realm. Now, in this realm that is now coming to us, in a very, very personal way, it's coming to us. I'm going to ask you, please, just be the observer. What that means is no counseling, no healing. Let yourself have feeling, of course. We're not trying to process anything. It's an experience as we go into this next realm. Every one of you knows somebody close that has passed away. A father or mother, a grandparent, a child, a close friend or a spouse, a partner, perhaps even an enemy. And now in this realm, they come to you. Come to you. It can be more than one, but allow it to happen naturally. It might have been 30, 40 years since they passed. It might have just been in the last few years. They come to you. They look at you. And they can look at you even though they no longer have a physical body. They have all the attributes or the awarenesses of what it was like to be physical. They can have eyes. They can have their face. And they can speak to you. What do they say? They share. You don't have to say a word back. It's your presence that counts here. your light. Some of them are asking you if you're dead also, if that's why you're here. They're asking if you're just dreaming. You don't have to answer, because the energy is already there, the consciousness. They'll understand that no, you're not dead. No, you're not asleep. They'll understand that you're an enlightened being, able to bring life wherever your consciousness is. Whether you're in the physical body, whether you're out here in these realms, you are free to be wherever you want, to experience however you want. Now listen to them for a moment. This place is a paradox. Stop trying to control it with your mind. That's what you're doing. Just take a deep breath. Logic doesn't work so well out here, so stop trying to make sense. Just experience it. Take a deep breath as the observer. And let them come to you. I say it's a paradox out here. Nothing really makes sense because you see, some of them have already reincarnated. When you say, well, how can that be? How can they be out here? How can I be feeling them, hearing them, sensing them if they've already reincarnated? My friends, time is escape. It's like a landscape. It's a timescape. Furthermore, even when one reincarnates, part of them, part that is not yet integrated, stays in these other realms. You're seeing one perspective of them. There's other perspectives that are in different parts of this near-Earth realm, just as there are parts of them that have reincarnated that are now little children or even teenagers back on Earth. Some in your very own family. Nieces, nephews, grandchildren. The mind doesn't understand how you can be here and there, how you can be in this land of the dead, but also back in living. It's all a perspective. Now take a good deep breath. We're not here to try to change them. But by being here as a conscious being, by choice, with compassion, it suddenly illuminates what they thought was their darkness. Now it's up to them. Now it's up to them. Let's move along, my dear friends. Let's move along. We're out here in the astral realms, the near-Earth realms. I have so many of the feelings and the senses of human, but not physical. Out here where one goes after death to experience their beliefs. If they believe in the devil, they'll meet the devil. If they believe in nothing, they'll be in nothing. If they believe in punishment, they will be punished. It's not being inflicted from anywhere else, not from God, not from the archangels, not from aliens. They're living their own beliefs and their own limitations, even out here. Now let's move to the next realm. And again, you're just the observer. In this realm, which we've carefully prepared, balance the energies, is where you meet yourself. From past lives, lifetimes that were not integrated, parts of you that are still out in these realms, parts of you that you might not have even been aware of. You, in between lifetimes, you, parts of you that were lost, are still just playing out here. Now, truly be the observer. And remember, it's a paradox. For the mind, there is no logic. Just let it come. Whether it's sadness or joy, whether it's thanks, whether they even are aware of you, or whether they come to embrace you for the grand work you've done in this lifetime. Let them come to you. Let you come to you. Be a living, conscious, physical being on this planet. There can still be these parts of you in the other realms. Let you come to you. No judgment. No fight. Just awareness. Just awareness. Shining your light on yourself. You're coming back to you. Isn't this what you would want if yourself from your future, this enlightened master from your future, came to visit you? Wouldn't you, as the human on this earth, just want to feel the presence? You wouldn't even need to hear words. You wouldn't need to have advice. Just the knowingness. Just the feeling of this magnificent presence of yourself. A fully enlightened being. That's what you're bringing to this realm right now. This place. Where you're meeting your own past, you could say. Past that still here in these other realms. That's what you're doing. A conscious, enlightened being. Coming to yourself. Just radiating your magnificence. That's That's all that's ever needed. Whether it's you with yourself, you with your family, you with this planet, it's all that's ever needed. Just your awareness, letting it shine, letting it radiate. It's the greatest billboard, the greatest bumper sticker ever. I am. That's all your past needs to know. It's all you need to feel. I am. And you know, a funny little thing happens while we're out here where nothing really makes sense, where logic really doesn't work. Suddenly, as you're doing this dream walk, suddenly where you're visiting yourself in between your own past lifetimes, there's a beautiful light. There's a beautiful presence out here. It's you. It is that enlightened being from what you would call the future, but it's really not the future. It's always been. This isn't a railroad track. This is a timescape. And that beautiful presence of the I am, of the enlightened master, it's now dream walking you. You, the enlightened master, standing before you. You thought you were doing the dream walk. But maybe, just maybe, you're the one being dream walked. Maybe, just maybe, out here, where you get out of your mind, or you open up and allow the enlightened I am. It's standing in front of you, not saying a word. Your divine, your free self. It's shining its light. Maybe even giving you a little wink and a nod and a knowing smile. Is it real? Oh, my friends, more real than anything you've experienced before this. More real than your breakfast this morning. More real than the hair on your head. More real than anything that you've experienced. Life is where consciousness is placed. And when one frees themselves to be in consciousness, in a place of freedom, in a place of release, in a place of knowingness, then life comes to be. Let's take a good deep breath. It's time to go back, or should I say, time to go forth. It's time to bring realization back or forth. Right here, to where we started, but you know, you never come back to where you started. You might come back to a more focused presence in your physical form, back from this journey to the near earth realms, or its journey to us. You might come back into more awareness of your body and your mind, but you never come back to where you started. Take a deep breath, realizing and feeling your physical self, realizing yourself in time, but also realizing that you're timeless. Realizing that you have things to do in the rest of the day, or maybe it's time for bed, but at the same time, there's nothing to do. Not even to go to bed. The beautiful thing, as that enlightened master of you shined upon you in its DreamWalk of you, it's never singular. You can be physical and non-physical. You can be in the mind and far beyond the mind, all at the same time. You can be in time and in the timescape, and beyond time, all together. For right now, take a good deep breath into the beauty and the experiences that we had today. Take a good deep breath. Yes, yes, indeed, you truly visited these other realms. Maybe your body didn't go there, but then again, maybe it did. Take a good deep breath, and I put that question back to you. Is it real? Absolutely. So I bid you farewell, bid you safe journeys no matter where you go. I give special thanks to Archangel Michael for joining us today. Take a good deep breath and remember, let life come to you. Let life come to you. I am that I am, Adamus of sovereign domain. Thank you.
And so, no more words are really necessary other than to remind you to just stay with the breath, to allow yourself to stay with this experience if you choose, but to continue to take the good deep breath of life until we see you again.